but how do you look at someone where you're not intimately familiar with their industry and help them understand what kind of content they need to create if you don't have intimate knowledge of their specific industry?
Man, it's crazy that you say this, Brian. Nobody's ever asked me this, but I'll tell you right now what my clients say. They say it's insane how you can get into my space and create hooks and content that I would actually watch. Now, what allows me to do this is I spend 80% of my day studying. 80% of my day is searching keywords that are pretty broad, finding out what the most viewed videos are, and breaking down every second of what they conveyed, whether it was emotional, whether it was a call to action, whether it was psychological or whatever. So if you guys have never heard of the 4x4 method before, you should really watch some of my content and maybe join a live one time, because basically, essentially what I do is say, I don't care what your industry is. If you implement what I'm trying to convey in the 4x4 method, then you can go out there and keep people engaged. At the same time, using a list form of things that will, on a psychological level, since the beginning of the internet, is how we consume information. Every video on YouTube in a list form starts backwards, and they're the most viewed videos on there. Here's the top 5 most expensive houses in the world. Here's the top 3 cars in the world. And they start with 3, 2, 1. Why? Because it will be unrealistic and unreasonable for a person not to go from 3, 2, 1. So when I tell people the 4x4 method, whatever industry it is, and I know I'm taking a long roundabout way to tell you this, but let's say I had a skincare client recently. I asked them, I said, well, in the first 4 seconds, we must hook them. I said, what is the most desirable outcome for your clients? Is it hyperpigmentation? Is it dark circles? Is it acne or whatever it is? So now how can we romanticize getting people to run towards pleasure or away from pain in our hooks? If you're somebody struggling with hyperpigmentation and you can't figure out how to get these off your face, then I'm going to show you how a study done by Harvard and vitamin C can solve this problem for you. Now, let me show you the top 3 retinoid products that you can buy right now that will help you with this. By the way, you might want to save this video for later so you don't lose it. Now, what did I just do there? I hooked them. I let them know that I was going to tell them about a problem to their solution. And then I anchored them down by showing a proof study that was done by Harvard or the Journal of Clinical Science or whatever it is. So on an emotional level, I just put this person through everything that they need to have to feel comfortable with staying on my video. And then I told them what to expect. And right when I had them at their peak curiosity, their highest interest point, I asked for a micro commitment, AKA reciprocity. Also, something I learned in marketing. So if I ask you something, or I tell you, hey, I'm going to solve this very desirable pain in your life, all you have to do is save this for later. So now the algorithm's saying, holy smokes, Paul got them to click the thumbnail. Oh, there's no thumbnail, Paul. Your first 5 seconds of your video is the thumbnail on TikTok. If I can get someone to consume that much information and right at that moment get them to save or like or engage, TikTok's going to push my video out further. So now I've just put them through this process, and now I'm going to increase my duration of them staying on there by saying number 3 is retinoid, da, 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 da. Number 2 is this, that, and the other. Number 1 is this. Now at the end of my video, I'm going to have a call to action. Now, to put that in perspective, the 4x4 method is in the first 4 seconds, we must hook them. The second 4 seconds, we need to lower their guard and anchor them on our content by showing some type of proof. This can be social proof. This can be testimonials. This can be stats, studies, statistics. Well, why did I come up with this? Because when I wrote papers in high school and college, I had to cite my work. And because there's so many experts out there on the internet right now, nobody believes anybody. So how can I lower their guard and anchor them in? By using that actual proof, testimonial, or some type of study that was done. So when a person tells me, how do I, in whatever industry, talk about this? I go to ChatGPT and I say, hey, can you show me some studies that are based around losing fat and this? Can you show me some studies that were based around hyperpigmentation and blah, blah, blah? And you cite that work. So we make the hooks, we cite the work, and then we give the solution and we have the call to action.